the previous round of that tournament.
Goodness me, I could have sworn that it had been more recent than that, but when there's a sea of Protoss, I guess you get them a little bit muddled up. Let's see what happens here on Oxide in the top right. He's in the red. He is teamless, folks. Please, we need to fix that situation. This is ButAlways.
Recently departing Alpha X, now representing Good Game Gaming, my favorite team to say it's Good Game Gaming's GGG's. Nice. Second gas is super early for ButAlways, and that makes me already think about Proxy Void Ray.
Yeah. When you watch ButAlways, if he's not proxying, something's kind of weird. It's just like, it's just what he does. He's gonna proxy something. I know at one point we saw him do like hidden bases and stuff, so this is kind of what you've got to expect, guys, from ButAlways as PvP.
Nice is one gate expanding in the face of it. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. This region is crazy. These guys invented Nexus first and were like defending one base all-ins with it. These guys, like Nice and Haas, were the pioneers of that meta. But when you see that they're down a probe, they're putting on gas straight away like that on one base and building a Zealot early, to just go for a Nexus in the face of that, this is ballsy by Nice.
Yeah. I mean, he's well aware of it, of course, and he's already starting to formulate a plan to survive here. This is something that we've seen ButAlways do before. I think they're perhaps just on a different map.
Well, Nice is going to put down his own shield batteries as well in a moment. He's got a pylon up as well. He hasn't started them just yet, but he puts down one of his own. And he's going to use his probe as a combat unit there. Very cute. And he's got a second shield battery down as well now. So Nice needs to turn around, I think, and go for the shield battery of ButAlways probably. Can't let that one finish up. And if that Void Ray gets out, there's only one Stalker for Nice right now. Second Stalker just started. If he gets that Void Ray out, it's a very big problem.
Yeah, this is a unique response to this as well. Like, previously we've kind of just seen people flounder and die because Void Ray shield battery is just so strong, but Nice's response is to build his own little area here, and as you said, Pig,
the DPS is so crazy. I mean, obviously it's like the healing is good enough for one Void Ray and one Stalker, but wait, that's the last battery. The other batteries aren't quite ready just yet, but they will be in a moment. Nice cancel there from ButAlways. He's chasing back these voids. Oh, his own Stalker's actually trapped in there for a moment. Does have to go all the way around the long way, and Nice gonna lose that Stalker. ButAlways there. With a quick one. We were talking before the show about how long the games might be, Zeph, and I think we were saying, yeah, the second one, I think, has the potential to be the longest series out of these two, right?
Yeah. Yeah, kind of crazy there. I mean, ButAlways... he's a proxy beast. What's the appropriate response there? If you've gone one gate expand like Nice,
yeah,
what other thing could he have done?
I mean, the thing is, he scouted early enough to see, so he didn't need to go for the Nexus. He could have just dropped a second gateway and a core earlier and defended this, because this, I think this was even 12 pylon, maybe 13 pylon, probably 12 pylon from ButAlways, because he was down a worker very early to try and get the cyber core up even faster. So that's why this was such a quick proxy. And yeah, I think you can overwhelm it, but the way you do that is you need to pull probes. So what you can do is you can pull 8 probes, and you still have 8 probes on minerals, 3 on gas, or 2 on gas, and that way you can pump Stalkers one at a time non-stop. So you can support that production, and then you have 8 probes, which doesn't sound like that much, but they kill those shield batteries really quickly, right? And the thing is, if you kill those shield batteries as they're popping up, the Stalkers can obviously take the Void Ray down. So I think if you're going to commit to the Nexus there, you kind of probably need to pull probes.
Yeah, I've noticed over the time that we've been casting Taiwanese Protosses, there's this real stubbornness where they don't want to let the Nexus go. We watched Haas Nexus first his way through an entire tournament and somehow make it work. So it's like in their heads, canceling the Nexus is just not an option. You either keep it or you GG. So might want to revisit that strategy if we're going to be seeing more proxies from ButAlways, and that is quite likely. Now, I know that was a fast first game, guys. We are going to take a quick break as well, but when we come back, be ready for more PvP action. Welcome back. If you blinked recently, you might have missed game 1, so hope you're ready for game number 2 here between ButAlways and Nice. ButAlways leading 1-0 after a proxy that Nice just couldn't really respond properly to. Had to GG out really quick. Hopefully we get a little bit more meat out of these games that are yet to come, but we'll soon see.
No thanks. I'd like Nexus first proxy 1v. Let's go. And it's not because I want quick games and I want it to be over. It's because I love watching people do exceptionally greedy things and exceptionally all-in things. And The reason I enjoy this is not because it leads to one-sided games, it's because I'm usually surprised by the amazing holds or the amazing busts that people can do well after the point where I thought, oh no, there's no way this is still going to work, and they make it work, or there's no way you can hold that and they make it work. So as much as I'm surprised by you know, putting a Nexus down in the face of a rather somewhat obvious one base all in there, it really is a situation there where these guys are known for their greed. You said it before, they're the trailblazers of the expansion at all costs, and defending it. We've seen people here, I think it was Haas was one of the first to start building Forge and cannons to defend a Nexus first sometimes, something which players like Max Packs have used a ton since then, so can't wait to see what happens as the series unfolds.
Yes, I believe map number 2 should be Romanticide here, and this can lead us to some longer PvPs, but always is a factor in this match. So let's just strap in and enjoy the ride, shall we? In the bottom right here, in the red trunks, this is the man leading the series. It's ButAlways.
And his opponent in the top left, representing GG Gaming. Good Game Gaming. It's nice.
Okay. Probe scout immediately from both players here. I feel like for Nice, you're the one that needs the information a little bit more. It's funny, not so long ago, Nice was the one trying to proxy Haas in every game just to try and figure out ways to beat him, it felt like. So when I see him come up against someone who's known to proxy a lot, I almost feel like he should know exactly how this works, because he used to be the guy doing that to somebody else and trying to see if he can get a sort of weird response or inefficient response from his opponent to get an advantage. So I do still favor Nice in this series, despite ButAlways having a quick game one. Let's have to wait and see.
ButAlways is already heading off to the most secretive of proxy locations on his side of the map. So it's a mega hidden proxy. It's just kind of out there, not close to the opponent's base, but in a very rarely scouted location. Now, is that just a fake pylon he puts out there so that Nice is kind of going, where's your second pylon? Where's the proxy? Or is this just a fake out? And or is it actually going to be committed to? So Nexus is on the way for Nice. He's already gone double gas and a cyber core. Warp gate starts up, delaying his first unit. Is Nice going? Okay, Stalker does start up there. 3-gate robo,
Keep an eye.
I think, from ButAlways. That's my guess.
Yeah. There's very thorough scouting happening from both players, really, at this point. But yeah, Nice is just trying to get that extra bit of information, figure out what is happening here. Knows full well that it could be a fake out as well. But it's just nice to know so that you don't have that issue where you might accidentally not read it properly and suddenly have a whole bunch of units on your front doorstep. The probe has pathed around the edge of the map. I think he might have seen that pylon, but nonetheless, you know, he's gearing up at the front here, getting his stalkers out to try and defend against this initial poke. He's got a shield battery here, so that's not really a fight that ButAlways wants to take, but at least he gets a little bit of info just peeking over the ledge there.
Oh, there is a worker waiting at the proxy for ButAlways, which tells us it's likely to be DTs. Now, if you see a couple of sentries in expand, it's very easy as Nice to just kind of discredit that even as an option, because there's so much gas going into other things that you're not even thinking about that as an option. So we'll have to see exactly how well Nice can scout with hallucinations to kind of check exactly what's up. The probe advantage is there for Nice. He's looking good. So I'm impressed by how greedy he's been here. I think just upon scouting so heavily and not finding the proxy, you know, he's kind of going, this is cool. This is not actually going to be one of your crazy one base all-ins. You went for the super aggression, you got the win. Now you're going to go with a bit more tricky play where you actually fake it out with the missing pylon into a macro build.
Nice scout here from ButAlways, just swooping over the base of Nice, examining the tech, so he'll see, okay, Twilight, build and blink most likely, kind of pretty similar from here on out. Nice grabbing that forge a little bit earlier, so he is going to have that point in time where he has the upgrade advantage over his opponent. The question is whether ButAlways brings the fight to him before that, so it doesn't always become a factor right away.
Absolutely.
We'll see where we go from here.
I mean, it's a good eco advantage for Nice, which is very important. Now, interestingly, ButAlways is going 4 gases and a robo. So one of the things you can do is if your opponent's really worried about like DTs, like safety shield batteries, safety robo, there's so many little safety precautions being taken by Nice. Sentries constantly spamming all their energy on hallucinations. One of the ways you can take advantage of that is just take a quick third and go into Zealots and stay low on the gas and really make it very scary for Nice to secure a third base while you actually just get the income lead on a low tier army, and you kind of alternate between threatening for a kill move and seeing if you can find that and taking a quick fourth and basically just, outgrowing your opponent. ButAlways is going for a gateway explosion right now. No third base though for him, just charge on the way, while Nice is kind of adding higher tech units, the Immortals.
While he certainly can play a long, calm macro game, it's not really on brand for ButAlways. He likes to be attacking, or at least putting on the pressure while he gets those expansions up. And he's actually grabbing the Dark Shrine behind this. Is getting a fair selection of tech here. Warp Prism coming in as well. It looks like he's thinking about a third base with the pylon over there.
Yeah. I think this is where Haas gives Nice a lot of problems. Gets in a similar situation to ButAlways here. I'd say their early game can be very similar. But this is where Haas would already have a third filled with workers while still threatening for the attack. ButAlways is incredibly committed on 2 base, and this is being scouted by Nice. So Nice should be just doubling down on Mass Blink Stalker production. He's building more Immortals right now, which aren't the most useful versus the Zealots, and soon to be Archons coming in as well with the Dark Templar tech. Stalker's here just poking and posturing for ButAlways. He's setting up, getting ready for the next follow-up push. The Observer sees this army though, and the shield batteries should be ready in time.
Certainly should. The Observer, sees the warp in points and everything. He knows full well what's happening here. He's got so much defense coming in. Still has those sentries that he made for safety earlier on. In come those DT warp ins for ButAlways here as well, though. And he's going to use those as is for the moment in that warp prism on the left-hand side of the map, and that could throw a spanner in the works here.
Yeah, I mean, this is so delayed, this attack, but he also just sniped one of the Observers of Nice, and those DTs, I mean, that might actually be a game. He gets another Observer.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. And the DTs coming at the same time. I can't believe it. Oh my god, this is catching Nice completely off guard. A shake of the head. He's very frustrated as Nice. He's being completely tricked.
It's a little while before that second, spare, I should say, Observer is going to come out from that robo too. And in that time, he can't really do anything except take refuge at his third base. And a few units in the main here trying to deal with a DT threat. He does morph an Archon and sort of recall out of there, but there's still 2 more DTs here that he hasn't been able to deal with. And they're going to get lifted out of there before he can even kill them. So really nicely done from ButAlways.
Lots of damage there. Good Stalker block in the main from Nice. That was incredible crisis management. He did actually not lose as many probes in there as he could have, and ButAlways was a little slow to focus fire them. So despite taking some damage and being surprised, look at the upgrade disadvantage. It's +2, and as I said, ButAlways never builds workers for his third base. This is one of his big strategic line spots, and that's something where Nice knows he can afford to take extra safety precautions here, because ButAlways, it's rare we've seen him above 50 probes. It almost never happens. His third is just to transfer probes to. He's trying to go Disruptor Archon Immortal from here, which is a really good set of units that doesn't care as much about upgrades, the Disruptors especially. But if you are on this work account, I mean, definitely all this aggression, keeping your opponent so worried, I think you've got to have that opportunity to potentially be able to just jump ahead on the workers. And if you never take advantage of that, it allows Nice the kind of rare opportunity to just sit in your corner, turtled up, and actually still be ahead on upgrades, economically, and building over time a much better force.
Yeah, that's a really great point, actually, because this is not where we see ButAlways flourish as the game continues on. And he always has these brilliant moments early on, maybe in the mid-game, like we just saw, sniping Observers, putting DTs into the mix. but ultimately you need a way to capitalize on that. You need a way to actually find a win if the game continues. And Nice, yes, he lost some workers, but overall he handled it well. He's just macroing up, man. Look at his production tab. Disruptors are coming to the mix. He's getting extended thermal lance. He's already got 3 immortals, whereas ButAlways is really just chilling on Stalker Zealot.
0-0 Stalker Zealot as well versus the +2. Give it a minute or two, it'll be +3 Stalker Immortal Archon. Now that is a scary army, so Nice is a bit far out of the map right now with his immortals and so on. The disruptor counts are starting to come out for Nice. Oh, I like the Stalker micro. He's going after the disruptors, doesn't get anything, but he's at least buying time for himself.
Yeah, disruptors are a nice addition, but Nice is up in his own base. He's got his own disruptors coming out here. He just has like a couple more immortals. I still like what his army is about to be. Does have to back up a little bit because this is nonetheless a scary force from ButAlways.
I like the way he's just zone controlling. He's just kind of he's running forwards and backwards just to stop ButAlways moving closer. So that was like really good. Just saying, give me a moment to get a few more disruptors out. He buys himself that time expertly. And now ButAlways, I mean, look at the map control he has, but no 4th base, no 5th. Now he adds a few probes behind it. But this is something we saw in the previous seasons as well, is he's such an expert in the early stage. But because he doesn't have that kind of depth, and I don't think it needs to be perfect macro play. Like I said, it can be threaten the attack, pop down 2 Nexi, build 20 probes, make double forge. You know, like it doesn't have to be like technical units. It could be lots of zealots. The disruptor count is still great for him, but can he get Nice into a compromised situation where he can like get in between him and his bases?
Links away from that disruptor shot, both posturing for a better position here because they need to juke and jive a little bit before they can actually commit to an attack due to this sort of endless dance of disruptor shots that's going to be happening here. And this is how a lot of PvPs have looked for a long time at this point, the mostly Stalker disruptor dance. And behind this, ButAlways is going to try and take a base, but Nice got some zealots there to harass. I don't believe that ButAlways has anything ready to go. Nice hit there, though.
Yeah, good hit, taking out a bunch of Nice units. Nice does get the disruptor and a couple stalkers in return, though. And Nice now is starting to zone out that ramp. Great observer coverage for ButAlways, but Nice comes in, takes out that base, cancels the 4th. So that 4th base, which I keep talking about how the expansions are always so late. I mean, ButAlways now has a forge, is adding some cannons on each base, still has no upgrades, and he's going to try and go straight to air. Which, when you're this far behind on the ground upgrades, I actually kind of like. It's like, well, what are you going to do? Like, oh, I'll have +2, but by then Nice is going to be going to air units. It's going to be more about disruptors and air units, so why not play it out this way? It's actually really clever from ButAlways.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice has a similar idea here, though. He's getting his own Stargate fleet beacon. He is going to snipe this 3rd base, though. He's targeting it down, and with the disruptor shots to zone Nice out of this position, it's not all that much he could do about it. So this does knock him back to 3 mining bases for at least a little while, but he's going to try and rebuild that immediately as he transitions into carriers himself.
Oh, it's really important to go air upgrades. 0-0 carriers are not going to fare well versus what's going to be 3-1 blink stalkers. They'll actually just lose straight up. So it's a good idea to get into the carriers. Oh.
Dude, cutting it close.
Oh my lord. Yeah, but ButAlways, he's just got to make sure he starts the upgrades, right? I would actually have gone double Cybercore here. So I'm kind of hoping that he does that, because I think to be this behind on economy for this long and really just be working the one advantage, map control. That's all he's got, but he's using it really well. Disruptors are so good with map control for chipping away. He's got a base, he's taken out some units, and going straight to air, it really bypasses all of your weak points in terms of the upgrades. I love it strategically, but there is such a crucial detail missing in those upgrades. I mean, it is so important to get these upgrades, and Nice is hitting it, and ButAlways is going 5 Stargates without Cybercore upgrades. There we go. Finally that +1 air weapons does start up.
Couple of key units here just zoning away this Zealot Stalker force as Nice sweeps in and tries to find a fight here. The Stalkers are ButAlways likewise coming in, sniping a disruptor, trying to get a carrier, but do have to duck out of there. Disruptors for Nice go back towards that position to help reinforce, and they're both trying to just pick bits and pieces off of each other's forces. As the carrier counts grow, air weapons on the way, 2 more Stargates for ButAlways.
ButAlways just lost a lot of units. Immortal Zealot Archon in the bottom, Stalkers in the middle. And remember, ButAlways is on 61 probes. It's such a small economy. And with carriers already on the way there and much better upgrades for Nice, this seems like a great moment to push in for Nice and start trading. See if you can pick some units off. I still think there's a chance for ButAlways, but he's down 20 army supply and his ground army is much weaker.
It's always a little bit difficult when you're basically mirroring each other, but one of you's got the stronger economy. In fact, Nice dives straight on top of everything. He's sniping down disruptors, now going for any other units that he can target down. So many interceptors, it's hard to figure out who's here. But you can see on the ground, at the very least, Nice has a lot more left over here. He's diving on top of the carriers and starting to snipe those down as well.
Well done by Nice, really finding that killer moment where he just says, look, I've got more stuff, I've got better upgrades, let's push in decisively. And I like the way he kind of forced a little bit of a disruptor trade, and he just had more disruptors, he had more left over. Waited for all the shots to be gone, blinked in, took the disruptors out, his own disruptors cleared the rest of the ground units, and kills the 4th base. And I think this reinforces just kind of looking at this series, what does ButAlways need to do to win here? And I don't think he can win past the 12-minute mark with his skill set, honestly. I think he really needs to stay a bit lower tier and be focused on, like, getting more of a swarm going or something like that, you know? I think disruptors aren't bad, but this map was always going to be the hardest map for ButAlways because it's just so hard to break an opponent. I think you give him a lot of the other maps, he's going to have a lot more success with his earlier attacks.
Yeah, this is starting to get a little bit out of hand here, ButAlways having to defend from Nice's constant attacks. He blinks in again, tries to get a carrier or two. I don't believe he's managed to really target down too much just because so much happening here, so many interceptors, but he's still putting those stalkers on the front lines. His carriers, while not necessarily getting taken out right away, are very bruised as well, so his ability to sort of dive in here and start shooting again, a little bit minimized. More disruptors come in here for ButAlways too, which could help him zone. But he's still just stuck now, kind of on those 3 bases, while Nice rolls around and does as he pleases. He's got 5 bases. His production's looking good. He's got a zillion more supply. It's really just a matter of time.
2 +2 air weapons on the way, ground armor, corner bases. Nice is doing all the things while he strolls his way through here, and finally we're going to see those numbers come to bear. A big defensive disruptor shot. And ButAlways says, I'll take it. That's the nice little victory I get there. One great disruptor shot and quickly tap out before watching your army disappear. Really good early game, actually, from ButAlways. I like the way he kind of faked out the all-in with the hidden pylon, macroed up from there. But a similar weakness to previous seasons, not taking the worker advantage when he's got his opponent pinned back. A little slow to swap into the economy game, and Nice, we saw him adapt. Rock solid defense, just pulls up the guard, pulls up the shield wall, and doesn't let anything through.
Yeah, and you mentioned it during the game, but his defense of these DTs is actually pretty impressive, considering that he was just in crisis mode, lost his 2 observers, DTs are happening, he's being attacked at the same time. But ultimately, he came out of that just fine. He kept powering that economy, and again, I mean, you spoke about how ButAlways' follow-up can kind of hurt because he doesn't really invest a lot in his economy, so he's always a little bit behind what his opponent's doing, whether it's in tech, whether it's in upgrades, and ultimately Nice just gets so much that he can work with here.
Yeah, this is textbook PvP. Upgrades, expanding, Blink Stalkers for zoning, adding the Immortals for the Anti-Stalker, the Archons for the Anti-Zealot. Clean transition into the Sky Toss as well, and business is as usual for Nice. After a rough start to the series as well, keep in mind he got a little bit greedy. This time around opted for the, it was still a 1-gate expand, but he went for the kind of double gas, the Cybercore a little bit earlier, and was able to kind of round out the tech that way.
Yeah, so I'm very curious to hop into the next map because I believe it's Beckett. So I feel like that's like the ButAlways time to shine if he wants to put another point on the board here. So I do kind of expect proxy something from him. I don't think he can go toe to toe with Nice in the macro game. I think Nice just has a bit more finesse and a bit more experience in that area. So as you said, early games is strength. I think he needs to continue playing to that strength to make this happen.
Yeah, it's so this is the thing where I think I really think he's got to, for ButAlways to develop, he's got to emulate what Haas does. And Haas is not a clean macro player. He really is not. But when he gets someone scared of him and on the ropes, he'll just saturate a third and a fourth really quickly on the minerals. And then he'll kill you with the Zealot Archon and +2 or something like that. This guy, I think, very rarely goes above 45, 50 workers. And I think he's so good at his all-ins. He scares his opponents. It's the next evolution of his play, but probably not for this map. Down in the bottom left, it's ButAlways.
And from Good Game Gaming, he is the blue Protoss known as Nice.
Looks like a very early scout coming in. Nice gets the gas steal. Oh, ButAlways with a bit of a slip up there. Oh my lord. He saw that probe coming and he did not react. That is a disaster for ButAlways. I'm a little sad we don't have the player cams up yet. We usually get those up a little bit later in the game. But I'm like, oh, I wish I saw his face during that.
Always fun to watch their reactions. Sometimes it's so small, you know, it's like the half smile for a split second knowing that something just went wrong, but it's just so entertaining to be able to see their reactions when these things happen.
I was actually watching on the other feed, so did we have the player cams up at that moment?
No, I don't believe we did. I think they just
okay,
popped
because
up,
I just
so.
stopped watching the other one and then the cam was already up and I was like, oh, was that up while I was
No,
saying that?
it went up like as you said it, so.
Okay.
If you're not, you miss
Pylon
out.
at the front. Is this just going to be Proxy Void Ray? Ooh, a taste of his own medicine.
Role reversal, okay. I mean, I expected it to be sort of the other way around, but hey, why not? Nice is a veteran of this as well.
The gas steal is just so good here. So ButAlways, I mean, what are you going to do? 2-gate. Oh, he's in so much trouble. He's in so much trouble right now. He's looking around, but he hasn't found it. It's right outside his base.
Oh, no. It's going to be such a feels bad, yeah. He sees and he's like, oh, okay. This is not great for me. Zealot comes up, starts picking away at the pylon and the Stalker. Second Stalker now on the way, but of course we already have one shield battery almost finished down here, another one coming, Adept here to help defend as well. So it's past the point where you can really come down here and stop this from happening, like the approach that Nice took to try and deal with it.
Yeah. Now, I don't like that shield battery positioning for ButAlways. I think it's going to go down very quickly to the Void Rays. I think he needs it further back. These buildings are actually going to cause him trouble microing against the Void Rays, but gets rid of the Zealot. If he can get rid of this Adept pretty quickly without too many probe losses, that would be fantastic. Ooh, he accidentally pulls all the way off his gas. He's trying to mass Stalkers and shield batteries. So it's 2-gate Stalker versus the Proxy Voider. But look at that, there's literally shield batteries going up in his natural and a forward gateway. Nice being incredibly aggressive.
Nice is not messing around here. And look at that range on the shield battery.
Yeah,
it can actually go surprisingly far.
Oh, we need shield batteries on the low ground, I think, here for ButAlways. He's done a bit of damage to the Void Ray, but a couple of those Stalkers still very damaged. Ooh, barely saves that. You know what? Prismatic Alignment's off. He could definitely clear some of these buildings, take out that pylon. ButAlways is actually doing a really good defense so far. And as that Stalker count grows, there's no battery overcharge when you're on the offense here. These Stalkers are going to be able to bust through this.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised at how this is going. It looked so set in stone for Nice that, okay, well, he's just in too good of a position already. And there's going to be just more and more structures coming down here. Look, ButAlways isn't out of the woods yet, but look how little time Nice gets to spend zapping things down, because the threat of the Stalkers is sufficient for it to be a little bit of a problem.
Yeah. The Stalkers on the low ground are going to try and take out that pylon. The Stalkers don't want to just sit there and take the Void Ray attacks because prismatic alignment and their constant rate of fire is really good. The Stalkers are really good at just shooting and pulling back because they shoot a one-off, whereas the Void Rays need to hold that attack down.
Gets one Stalker. He wants the shield battery or a Stalker. He doesn't care which, but he's going for it.
ButAlways has got to use Overcharge. He's got to use Overcharge to tank through this. He's got the energy. I think the shield batteries have got to be in range, but he hasn't used it.
Maybe he's trying to be a little bit stingy with it just so that he doesn't sort of use it and then regret it later when he needs it a little bit more. It's really hard to judge sometimes when you should commit to that. This gateway now in danger, and it's a bit of a tricky spot for the Stalkers to actually come in and do anything about. And Nice is very happy to try and destroy some Stalkers instead.
You know what? I think this is the perfect situation, though. These Stalkers and Void Rays are so far forward. Yeah, if Nice keeps fighting there, battery overcharge will be massive during that engagement. Losing this gateway at the front, it's a bit of a pain for ButAlways, but it also allows him to rotate between his bases because he's got 2 more gateways coming up behind it anyway. So he's still got decent Stalker production, and you got to watch out for them getting under the Void Rays and one-shotting them here. That's why Nice is being so careful. If they all get volleyed, look at how dangerous that is.
Wow, he's pulling the Stalkers up here to the front as well, trying to get a better fight, and another Void Ray goes down. Really nice snipes for ButAlways.
ButAlways is the Stalker King, I tell you. I've seen him win games where I'm like, oh, you're dead. So many times where he just gets so many Stalkers, they start volleying things down. And shield batteries, if you can volley units down, all those shield batteries aren't worth anything.
Yep, they're just paperweights at that point. The Void Ray's prismatic alignment goes off. They're still trying to find targets. If they can thin the herd, then they're happy to do that. But there's so many Stalkers that it's so risky to move forward with these Void Rays. And ButAlways is gaining ground here. He's cleared up the structures that were the biggest thorn in his side there at the natural, and now he's brave enough to move down.
I don't think that's wise at all. You do not want to go down there. Just clear the gateway, open it up a little bit, and just keep making Stalkers. ButAlways is on 2 base, 27 probes. He's got so many Stalkers, but he's got to get under the Void Rays. The problem is if he chases over those shield batteries, the Void Rays can just retreat behind them all. So I don't think it's a good angle for him. I like the way he's threatening and pretending he's going to commit, but he's not actually going for it just yet.
Yeah, Nice wants to get that core as well, of course. That would be a nice blow to ButAlways' ability to defend this. But the defense for that from ButAlways is actually to just threaten to move down towards those shield batteries because Nice has to respond. Another Void Ray on the way, only about halfway done, but he's just got to keep up here because he doesn't have another choice. All his money is invested at the front here.
Yeah, and it looks like a hold, honestly. ButAlways is going to run 4 Stalkers into the main and just start killing all the probes. So if Nice recalls, well, these Stalkers bust him on the front. If he doesn't, he's going to lose all of his economy. It's just 3 Stalkers, actually, not 4, but still more than enough to handle all the probes in your base with a bit of micro. And ButAlways tries to go down the ramp. Okay, no need for that. ButAlways needs to get back and consolidate his forces here. Those Void Rays trying to pick a bit of a fight, but Stalkers on the other side, they're going to depower the gateway before going in for the probes. That's going to supply block Nice.
And Nice is looking like he just wants to go for it. Prismatic alignment going off. Stalker's coming up to the front, but the other one swooping in from the top from ButAlways make that too risky, and he actually has to pull back. Prismatic alignment not able to help him out there, and the Stalkers are now starting to fight these probes at home for Nice.
Oh, this looks like he's actually done it. ButAlways doing it one more time. I mean, that's a bit of a bummer getting all of his Stalkers surrounded, so he's actually not going to kill nearly as many probes as he probably should have on the other side. Only 3 probes for 3 Stalkers? That's kind of funny, actually.
How? I feel like even on aim, it should have been more than that. He moves in and he starts targeting down these Stalkers while the Void Rays were playing around in the main base trying to pick off some more structures. Nice is actually going to chase this down, seeing an opportunity to cull the herd.
Run. Yeah, I think he's just got to threaten. Okay, he's breaking the batteries while they're there. These Stalkers need to pull back, though. ButAlways, he's so ahead. He's just got to be a little careful. That sentry warping in, so Nice wants to trap him the next time he comes down that ramp.
Yeah, trying to take shots on these Stalkers. One Void Ray falls again. He is starting to get some Stalkers, but he's got such limited funds to keep making Void Rays with. There's 7 Stalkers in his main. The recall comes down, and Nice is forced to back up here to his shield batteries. Probes coming up the line as well. Another Void Ray falls, and that is GG. ButAlways has put himself on match point.
Oh, damn. This is not meant to be a ButAlways victory, and yet he is finding a way. I mean, that there. Hopefully, if he wins, we get to interview him and ask, you didn't let the gas steal happen on purpose, right? I'm pretty sure that was, oh no, I messed up, and him just crisis managementing like a boss. Crisis managementing. Yes, that's a word.
Definitely. Yeah. It's I mean, if there's anyone that knows how to defend against this, it should be ButAlways, right? Because he knows the build, he does it himself, he knows what happens when he loses, and ButAlways has done a great job at patiently trying to pick his battles here, keeping Nice away from doing too much damage at once, placing shield batteries of his own to try and help him defend, and slowly but surely, he definitely made a really nice hold of it.
Yeah, the way he volleys them down, I mean, great micro from Nice, but this is why Void Rays are very good in sloppy pitched battles. That's why a lot of people like to add Zealots with them. So, you know, like when they're trying to defend, because if the opponent pushes through to get to the Void Rays, they've got to engage the Zealots in hand-to-hand, which is very rough. But yeah, just great volleying, and as that Stalker count grows, he handles it really well. ButAlways, fantastic choice to take the gas on the low ground since the gas was stolen in his main, because he was barely had enough gas income to keep trickling those Stalkers out, replaced his gateways really well, and handled it. So, I mean, it does make sense. We were thinking of Beckett as more of his map, but I thought after the gas was stolen that it would be an almost impossible hold there.
Yeah, it looked like it should have been rough, but turns out ButAlways is pretty good at the video game. He's now on match point. And after talking Nice up so much, because he's the reigning champ, because he has 80% win rate over his opponent here, I'm starting to believe in the ButAlways hype train, gotta tell you. But before we go any further in this series, guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll see who comes out on top in this PvP. And we're back once again. Time for some more PvP action. We are 3 games deep in ButAlways versus Nice. And we could actually have an upset here as things haven't really gone as we've expected.
Being a little bit greedy and getting cheese was nice in map 1, a bad start to the series, and then trying to cheese the cheeser, and it didn't quite break him in game 3. So I think we might just see back to defensive, sentries, hallucinating, and all that stuff we saw in Romanticide. It'll be a little bit map dependent, but I think it's definitely where Nice has a very clear advantage the longer the game goes. So it'd be a little strange for him to not go to that point.
Yeah, definitely. And it's certainly been a bit of a mixed bag in terms of games. We've had a couple of reasonably quick ones, one that was definitely very quick, but also something that resembled more of a normal macro game. It was still like a very aggressive game from ButAlways, but yeah, I wonder what happens in the last couple of maps here, because you kind of, I don't know, as ButAlways, do you want to play it a little bit safer? Do you want to try and avoid the situation where you shoot yourself in the foot by going for a cheese, it doesn't work out or something, because you're on match point when you kind of didn't expect to be. Like when we interviewed him, he was like, yeah, I don't really think this is gonna work out for me, but we'll see. And with the 12 pylon here in the top right in the red, this is ButAlways.
What a great observer we have, pointing that out to us, making sure we don't miss it. Let's see how the defense is going. He's going for a low ground wall off. Ooh, this didn't go well in the first map of this series. In the bottom left, it's Good Game Gaming's Noise.
He does head straight out with that probe, of course, to have a look-see. The double gas coming down for ButAlways already, of course, as well. We'll take a little moment before things start to heat up here.
Probe is already sneaking its way across the left side of the map for ButAlways. As this probe coming in, realize, hey, that's not as many probes as there should be in there. It's a much quicker gateway than mine. These are very obvious tells, and yes, learning his lesson from game 1. This time doesn't go for an extra second gateway. Cybercore, absolutely respecting it, and is going to start a Zealot straight away. So this should be a much easier hold, I would imagine, for Nice. Going for the early scout, having the second gateway production up, I mean, it should just allow him to pump out Stalkers at a very quick rate.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. This is a lot more comfortable of a position to work with, and he's learned his lesson after game number 1 for sure.
ButAlways is giving up on it. No. That Stargate's like 6 seconds late. Because I thought seeing the second gate, he was going to back out of it. Because I don't think there's any way this works.
Well, he's going to try. He's going to try and force it.
Yeah. Well, sometimes stubbornness is actually just, sticking by your guns, and it gives you wins. The shield batteries, though, are going to be actually ahead for Nice. Look at that. Already has cancelled the first one of ButAlways, and he's got a Stalker there as well. He's even brought a second probe. I mean, I was saying pull 8 probes, but even just those 2 probes, well, they keep getting stuck on each other, but they're doing their job. Shield batteries are now finishing for Nice, and as long as he doesn't lose the Zealot... Oh, he lost the Zealot. Okay, that was a nice little snipe there for ButAlways. ButAlways shield batteries are just so far away.
Yeah, he's having a real tough time getting these to finish. Oh, he's so close to losing that Stalker. It does go down. 3 Stalkers now here for Nice, and ButAlways, he's going to get this Void Ray out, but like, then what?
Yeah, well, it's gonna have healing. Oh, wait. Oh, no, sorry. None of those shield batteries was ButAlways. I thought one of them was.
You would think so, but hasn't been quite so fortunate. And he just goes straight back into the main there.
Ooh.
And that's it. Another very quick game. We are now tied 2-2.
Yeah, it's a blatant all-in, and I think Nice, what was such a bummer in the first map is he scouted so early and then still just put a Nexus down, and I was kind of scratching my head like, but what? This is what you're meant to do there if you go for the early scout, like a good solid shutdown. Says, okay, if you build shield batteries there, that's fine. I can build my own. Pulls a second probe, gets the zealot down there so fast. And going to be a little critical because ButAlways was piddling around with that probe. That Stargate was late. He actually started a Stalker before starting the Stargate, and I don't think that's ever worth it. I think it's much more important to just get the Stargate started as quickly as possible.
Yeah, he got himself in a bit of a muddle, and it was just not going to happen. As you said, like, you expect these shield batteries would actually be his, but Nice was ahead of him on that regard. He was on top of him with those stalkers, and that was just never going to work out. And to think game one could have looked like that, and that could have been our last game of the series if Nice hadn't have decided to take that much bigger risk. So,
yeah.
What does that leave map-wise? Is Jagannatha our last one?
I think it might be. I believe Lightshade might have been vetoed out, and
yeah, it's Jagannatha. Thanks, production.
Production's so good.
To write it down.
So yeah, that's it's a gate expand map. It's a 2-gate map normally, but we've seen Nice really likes the low ground wall off. You know, that's the thing. Every other region, people pretty much only 1-gate expand for the most part on the maps with the ramp. But in this region, it's any map. Like Nice has, if they're feeling it, they'll do it anywhere. So we just got to kind of keep our eyes on it and see how they go. Now, I imagine ButAlways goes back to the, hide a pylon, pretend you're doing something, and actually just expand behind it. And I don't think that worked out poorly for him on Romanticide. So I think it's just about what is the finishing blow? What is the next step? Let's see what he's got in store for us in the bottom left-hand side of Jagannatha. It's ButAlways.
And in the top right, he's put it back to a 2-2 score. Good game gaming. It's Nice.
Going to be a bit more of a chill opening here, and Nice does go for that high ground gateway. So nothing too wild from Nice, not wanting to take any risks. And yeah, I'd advise it. You're in game 5 in a series you're insanely heavily favored in. But I think this just continues that pattern of when these two have played in the last year. In these big events, it tends to have a very close scoreline.
Yeah, I find it so weird that the head-to-head ends up being so different in score, considering when we watch these, we know ButAlways can take games consistently. Yeah, Nice tends to come out on top, but it's not necessarily that he's steamrolling him every time, which is what that head-to-head percentage ends up looking like. So yeah, I think he doesn't give himself enough credit in terms of his PvP prowess, especially against Nice, who is a little bit concerned about going up against. And here he is in the final map, and we're going to see if he can make it happen and pull an upset to continue his run here in the playoffs bracket in a much more convenient position. Starting off with a couple of stalkers here.
I feel like Nice expression is constantly an unimpressed, kind of like, what are you doing? What are you doing, you cheeky boy? ButAlways, on the other hand, looks very focused as he's trying to pull off his tricks. He's always trying to just keep an eye on everything at once and see how he can sneak one on over you. It's going to be 3-gate Robo. Oh, back to his build order. It's the ButAlways classic. This guy came and studied in Australia and played in that region for like a year, guys. And you know what he did? Every PvP, every season, every game. And people knew it was coming and they still died to it. 3-gate Robo every single time.
What a legend. And hey, when you know a build that well, that you can execute it and still win, even though your opponents are fully aware of what you're going to do, I don't see why you shouldn't pull it out in a game number 5. It's maybe your best shot. Now, hold up though. That's a little bit awkward. He's going to lose one of these stalkers.
Oh, he's got to make sure he finishes Nice Stalker off, which he should be able to. He's going to lose 2 stalkers for 1 is always a bit of a bummer. Now, his stalkers on the other side, what ended up happening there? I think they just pulled home. Yeah, they didn't end up killing the pylon. So the Stalker now is going to pick off a few probes as well. Oh, this is such a good momentum shifter for Nice.
Yeah, this is going pear-shaped. And obviously he knows exactly what's going on here. A bunch of Storks coming out. He's going to see that prism pop out here in just a second. Okay, we're going to go the Robo Bay as the follow-up out here in the middle of the map.
Oh, it gets scouted though immediately, and a Stargate goes down. So Nice is going to go for the Phoenix response to pick up the disruptors. This is actually very powerful, but it's going to be a little behind is the Phoenix tech. So Stalker's venturing forward. That's a bit aggressive from Nice. Might get caught out there. Does he have his shield batteries up? Yes, he does. 2 in the natural, more on the way, and Immortal on the way as well. This is going to be a hard ask for ButAlways to get in here. He's going to run forward and try to focus fire one of the Stalkers. One of the best Warp Prism Micro is out there, but he goes a bit deep, takes a bit of damage on those Stalkers before pulling back. First Disruptor is on the way, and this is just locked into a very action-packed situation for the next minute or two. But Nice has the benefit of a 2-worker advantage and a Nexus. If he survives this, he's miles ahead.
Beautiful defense so far for Nice, pulling back the Hurt Stalker. Is going to get targeted down here though, but with a force field he's going to catch a Stalker of his own, and now the Immortal's here. There's another shield battery about to finish, and this gives him a lot more power to shove this back confidently, and ButAlways decides, okay, don't quite have enough to mess around there, and he's got to wait for that Disruptor to walk all the way across the map before he can really utilize that. Nice, in the meantime, is going to try and chase him down here.
Nice doesn't have too much vision on the other side of the map, so we kind of need to keep tabs on what this is, where it's coming from, and whether or not there's an expansion behind this. That being said, Nice is venturing very far out. Remember, that Disruptor's making its way over here. ButAlways is in mega focus right now. He knows a lot rests on what this Disruptor achieves.
Absolutely. Coming in, engaging with these Immortals is a really rough thing to do. The Disruptor looking for the opportunity to shoot here, but he does have to back up once again, and a lot of that army is so bruised.
There's only one Phoenix out, and it already used a lift. So the thing is, its energy will... Oh, there's 2 actually, but its energy won't recharge as quickly as the Disruptors do. There's always still a chance in there. The problem is, of course, the Immortals are so much better than the Stalkers. So more Adepts and Zealots coming in, which makes sense. The kind of tankier units being added in for ButAlways. And he's ceased Disruptor production. It's just tons of Stalkers right now to be added in to reinforce this. Third Phoenix is on the way. It's not out yet. And it's only a matter of time until there's a second Phoenix lift available. It's going to be really hard to find any real value with these Disruptor shots.
Yes, he comes in with the shots, but right away the lifts come up, and he actually snipes on the Disruptors there. The Warp Prism starting to get hurt as well from these Phoenixes, and if he can get that, the rush is over. He can't really warp in close by to this. He's got to go back to his little setup there on the left. And Nice pushes him back pretty far. He's still going to make another Phoenix after losing those. And continuing to make probes. That's how comfy he is right now.
This is just such a good response. The Robo, the Immortals to deal with the Stalkers, and then adding the Phoenix and instantly on scouting the Robo Bear. I mean, this is a testament to Nice here, going back to what he does best. Solid defensive, reactive play. Gets an expansion, make expand, and then defense it. Nice, the King of Taiwan. Makes it through a very, very